Hello, YouTube land. I think it is time then for a new feature, in which I try my hand at reviewing games. As for a name, I think I'll go with Wren Reviews. No, I won't sleep with any member of the gaming press or the developers. Kage makes games in his free time, and he won't get reviews from me, because that would be dishonest of both of us. I was digging through Kage's Steam collection this morning, and found a thing called Depression Quest. It had been uninstalled, and when I asked him why, he said don't go there. You might live to regret it. Of course, I couldn't let that stand. Not me. I'm a daft bit that's been hiding under a rock or something for the last several weeks apparently, as I'd not heard about this game, Zoe Quinn, or this thing called Gamergate. First, I want to say that this thing is horrible. Not horrible in the way hyperviolent zombie games are horrible, but in the way that the Atari 2600 port of Pac-Man was horrible, or a 50-car roadway accident. Or a close-in air burst from a 50-megaton nuclear weapon. For a game that's won so many grand-sounding awards, how can it be so miserable? I wish I had a better word to describe it, but I just don't. If you're not depressed when you start up what is essentially an adventureless text adventure, you will be by the end of this thing. At the very beginning, she suggests that the music is an integral part of the quote-unquote experience. Okay, fair enough. But if you are going to put in a depression-inducing tune to your depression story, can we at least change it up a little? I don't ask for much, but the same half-dozen notes repeated ad nauseum is a bit much. Once you turn it off, however, all the other warts on this particularly slimy toad become that much more apparent. Misspellings, abuse of English grammar rules, and a bland presentation all mar this unmitigated lump of word salad, and crossed-out choices force you into a straitjacket. You can't work your way out of the depression, those things are denied you. The only way you can get a mostly functional outcome is to see your therapist without fail, and not only take the medication when offered to you, but stay on them. This is patently ridiculous. Everyone gets depressed now and again, and nearly every mother does while her hormones return to their pre-pregnancy levels. Your character, which can only be a heterosexual male or a lesbian female, apologies if you're a hetero female or a gay man, you guys are stuck with the girlfriend, is chronically depressed, a distinction that Zoe never gets around to acknowledging, and his or her actions can make this worse or tread water in the best of cases. Just as a recovery cannot happen, but you can drive yourself into the ground, severing all human contact and not bothering to get out of bed. The thing you can't do: commit suicide. It's a major oversight on the part of the designer, as it is a distinct possibility for anyone that gets that far down the rabbit hole. This is not a game. A game has challenges and is enjoyable in its own right. This has no challenges aside from your personal boredom and sanity thresholds, and is itself a depressing thing to behold. Where's the fun? Aren't games supposed to be about fun? Imagining doing things and being someone that you cannot currently be. I've always thought so. At any rate, one cannot touch upon a topic without at least exposing the seamy underside and having a look. As for the creator, I would harp on her a bit more, but my opinion of her has little bearing on how poor the quality of her work is. It stands as a testimony of her work as a whole, and her ethics. Reading back a little farther, this particular project has a history, as does its writer. This thing was accepted to Steam by way of Project Greenlight in the second attempt. It was taken down earlier because of what Miss Quinn describes as hatred towards the game, and some sort of alleged action by a website called Wizardture. Considering that the website is staffed and populated by self-described depressed men, I have a hard time believing that they would do such a thing before they played it. After playing it, maybe, but certainly not before. Zoe soon submitted it again, and after a tweet from Anita Sarkeesian, got it approved. In the meantime, it had scared up several reportedly prestigious awards and some excellent press from places that employ the people she slept with. Some of those wrote the reviews in question. She then released it in the hours following the announcement of the death of American comedian Robin Williams. She claims to have agonized over the decision, but it rings false. You couldn't get a better moment to release a game, when it shares a significant word with an event as large as that one. People scouring the search engines for depression would see a thing called Depression Quest, and go look. At least some of them would have paid money for it. In the end, I can't really give you a rating for this game, as I can't even wrap my head around how it even qualifies as one. If I must, I would give it a score of 1, on a scale of 10. It's there, barely, and shows none of the care, personality, or in-depth exploration that it promises. It's poorly written and doesn't consider the best or worst case scenarios. Only a muddle of squishy in between. It was made with twine, shoved by a damsel, and lauded by people that should know better. You couldn't pay me to play this thing. I ignored a sternly worded warning, and proved myself daft as a brush. I then wandered through it for a bit, mostly as punishment for sticking my hand in a fire. Let's make games fun again.